And so, what your thought was, or your input of the self-inquiry, like who is thinking this, or okay, no.
In the Dzogchen, but we use that so if you want me to teach Mahamudra, you
La la la.
Ta 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 ta.
La la la.
Ta 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 ta.
Huh. If possible, to release those things that we can't really see, but
if you can catch it while it's what chakras look like. And the fibers, the channels come out and then they sort of wrap around you like an egg. They're made of light. Lines of the different chakras, constantly moving as you think, feel, perceive, and you perceive with these. They come out of your eyes, they see, they come out of your ears, they hear. So usually we are real self-focused with our attention. My house, what I'm going to do, my friends, my acquaintances, so they're wrapped.
Están todos amontonados.
And traumas leave dents and frizzy bits.
Y los traumas se mueven.
And if you get into, say, a war zone or something, it's kind of like riding on the back of a motorcycle with long hair and where you're just a whole ball of frizzy bits and tangles.
Son un montón como de
So one of the exercises we do
uno de los ejercicios que
often
hacemos,
is to
solemos
stretch our
hacer, es
channels.
estirar nuestros canales.
You breathe in through the nose.
Inhalás por la nariz. Y
And
exhalas.
on the in-breath, without holding your breath, you stretch all these lines of light out past the edge of the earth in all directions, down, behind. And you can work with more than 3 dimensions, stretch in other dimensions too. Past the atmosphere, past the solar system, the galaxy, the local group. Or as you can imagine, you stretch all on the in-breath.
Extenderte, extendes
And then breathe out through your mouth and
en la
relax.
inhalación y después exhalas por tu boca y te relajas. Inhalas, expandas y exhalas de este modo, expandes. Y al exhalar te relajas.
If you wish to hold your
Si
breath
querés
for a moment to
sostener
complete
tu
your
aliento
stretch,
por un momento,
do not close your
no
glottis.
cierres tu glotis.
Hold the air in with your chest muscles and diaphragm, not like when you're going to jump in the water.
El aire hacia adentro.
Yeah, don't do that.
No como cuando guardas
Okay.
aire para saltar en el agua. ¿no?
If you close your glottis, you can build up certain pressures in there that if you aren't
Vas a
trained in what to
generar
do
una
with,
tensión que
you
si
can
no
have
estás
some-
entrenado en cómo manejarla,
you can do yourself a minor mischief,
podés hacerte daño.
or a major one, depending on how hard you do
Pequeño o
it.
gran daño.
So just stretch
Así que
out on the
simplemente
in-breath and
quedate
relax
en la
on the out-breath.
inhalación, extendete en la respiración y relajate en la sala.
How does that feel?
¿Cómo se siente esto?
This was originally designed for doctors to do between
Esto
patients.
era algo que se hizo para que los médicos
Because in
hagan entre
Tibet, you diagnose a
pacientes.
patient
Porque en Tíbet
by touching them
diagnosticas a un paciente tocándolo
and reaching inside physically and feeling their dim spots and illnesses and
tocando
things.
físicamente a una persona y energéticamente.
And you sort of
sintiendo
mirror it in
sus
with your filaments, and then you see where it
energía.
is.
Y es como que espejas
Well,
los
if you do
filamentos
like 6
energéticos.
stomach aches in the morning, you're gonna have a tummy ache over lunch if you don't do
Y si
this
ves a
between each
60
one.
pacientes en la mañana vas a tener
So
un
it originates for body
Entonces,
workers
esto, si no haces esto
to
entre
do
pacientes.
between
El origen
patients.
era para gente que trabaja
But
en el
if you
cuerpo,
get in an
para-
argument, a traffic jam, you meet one of those people who's in a toxic mood today
pero
and
también
makes you
si
feel
están
bad.
atrapados en el tránsito, se encuentra una persona
If that
tóxica,
happens,
si están así,
as soon as you're out of the situation,
tan
blow it
pronto
out.
como sales de la situación,
Anyone who
Exacto.
doesn't know what you're doing will think you're just having a nice stretch.
y otras personas no se van a dar cuenta de lo que haces, piensan
You
que
read a
estás
bit of
estirando.
news on the internet that bothers you.
Has visto noticias en
It's
internet
okay
que te
to be
molestan,
bothered and
te
do something
afectan.
about the
Está
situation.
bien,
Act
te
politically.
sentís afectado
But
y puedes
don't
hacer algo,
take it into your body.
pero no lo dejes
Do this.
en tu cuerpo.
Not instead of being politically active, but to
No
keep
es
from
el
going nuts
reemplazo
while being
de
politically
ser activo
active.
políticamente, pero no
Or
te
damaging
vuelvas
your
loco,
body.
no te dañes tu cuerpo.
So that's how we deal with trauma as best we
Así es
can.
como trabajamos con el trauma del mejor modo
Most
posible.
of the
La
Tibetans
mayor parte de los
have
tibetanos
had extreme
han
trauma.
tenido traumas extremos.
Some have
Algunos
physical sequelae from it.
Tienen secuelas físicas.
The better practitioners
Los
do not.
mejores practicantes no les quedan marcas.
What is sequelae?
Sequelae, results,
Secuelas
continuance.
son resultados que continúan de algo, efectos.
I sometimes use a word that's not in the language I'm talking, just
A veces
forgetting that it isn't.
uso palabras
Because I
que
speak
no
in a few
están
languages,
en
so
el
catch
idioma
me
que
on
estoy
that if I
hablando,
use a word that you don't
porque hablo
know.
varios idiomas, entonces a veces no me doy
Other
cuenta.
questions?
¿Hay otras preguntas?
This conversation ties into something I was thinking about last night after the teaching, that's been on my mind and heart a lot. And I'm just trying to find the words to describe how I want to ask it. When we were talking, you were speaking yesterday about these like very relevant themes of aversion
Mm-hmm.
and clinging.
Mm-hmm.
You used the example of we have aversions to being despised or to being bullied.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about amoebas having aversions to alcohol because it's poison to the amoeba. And I've been thinking a lot about these themes of like if people are abusive or mean or bullies in life, like not wanting to spiritually bypass by just saying, oh, I want to practice autonomous with how equanimity with however this person is treating me right now. But finding like, just like the amoeba would go away or use aversion as like a response to like find safety.
La pregunta es sobre la aversión, la evitación, y si no es natural que ante un peligro haya un alejamiento de que se reproduce eso en búsqueda de seguridad.
That's going to really depend on the circumstance.
Eso realmente va a depender
If
de
you're
la
being bullied by an
circunstancia.
armed
Si te
person,
está abusando una palabra
it would be
persona con
better
un
not
arma,
to scold them for it.
mejor no los reprimas o no los retes, o los regañes
Like
por eso.
police.
La policía.
If a cop is bullying you, and they do that a
Si un
lot,
policía te
and
está
the darker your skin and the curlier your hair
amenazando
around here, the more
o
they
algo
do
así,
it. Maybe
quizás
not
si
down
tenés
here in New Orleans, but
un color de
everywhere
piel
else I go, and it's really
diferente, lo
annoying.
pueden hacer dependiendo del lugar.
And you really have to be careful of
Tenés que
cops,
tener cuidado con la policía en algunos lugares
and they'll shoot you.
y ellos te pueden disparar.
So you really don't want to be just
querés
reactive emotionally to being
estar
bullied.
solamente reaccionando emocionalmente a
Because if you react emotionally to an armed cop
acosado de
bullying
este
you and
modo,
he's
porque
nuts,
si reaccionás
Yes, some of them are.
emocionalmente ante un
you're going to have
policía,
a problem.
si él está loco, como
It is,
vas a
however,
tener un-
also possible to
también
interpret
posible
someone as bullying
que
you.
uno interprete que alguien nos
Because you
está
have been
acosando,
bullied repeatedly in the
porque uno en el
past
pasado ha sido acosado
when that
muchas
someone
veces,
is not intending
cuando
to do
otra persona
so.
en realidad quizás no tiene esa intención de hacer.
Because very often how
Porque
we
muchas
perceive
veces
what's going on
el modo en
around
que
us
percibimos
is
lo que
way
ocurre
influenced by our past
alrededor nuestro está muy
experiences.
influenciado por nuestra experiencia pasada.
One can feel that someone is being
Podemos sentir que alguien
disrespectful,
nos falta el respeto,
whereas they think they're being nice
cuando
and
ellos
polite.
pueden sentir que están siendo
That
educados.
actually happened to me.
Esto es algo que de hecho me pasó.
I had a really fast transfer
Tenía
between air flights, and it was
transferencia, una
far, and it was in a
conexión
giant airport. So I
muy
ordered a
larga.
wheelchair because I can't run that fast anymore.
En un aeropuerto
to
muy
make my
grande,
connection, and they
entonces,
can.
una silla de ruedas.
So the person
Porque no
pushing
puedo
it
correr.
loved old people
La gente que las llevaba
and spoke to
amaba a
them
la
loudly
gente,
and in small
a la
words.
gente anciana y les habla a todos en voz muy alta y con palabras a los ancianos.
She was being really nice with a basic assumption that I was slightly
Siendo
senile.
muy amable con la suposición de que yo era senil,
And-
una vieja y cagada.
Boy, did it bug me.
Pero esto cómo me
Boy, did
molestó.
I feel disrespected.
Sí,
Also
sentí una
ignoring me if I
falta
said
de
I'd like to
respeto.
stop here for a moment
Eh,
and get a bottle of water or whatever I was saying. Oh, yes, dear, of course. Right on, she's not listening. So
Ella no
I
escuchaba.
became frustrated
Yo me
because I
frustré,
felt I was being
porque yo sentía que
disrespected.
estaba
But this
faltando.
person thought she was being
Pero
nice
esta
and being
gente
very caring
estaba
and
segura,
caring
esta
for
persona
me.
estaba segura de que estaba siendo muy amable y cuidadosa.
We
Atenta.
perceived the same reality quite
Percibimos
differently.
la misma realidad, pero muy diferente.
So when you think you're
Cuando
being bullied,
piensan, están seguros de que
my
están
daughter
siendo
married a guy who bullies everybody.
acosados. Mi hija se casó
He's
con
totally
un
shy
tipo que
and
es
has very,
muy acusador.
doesn't like feel confident in himself.
Él es muy
So he's
tímido.
sort of trying to do a hail fellow well met, but he's 6'3"
Y él
and stands
trata
a
de
little bit too
forzarlo
close because of
al
the culture he
contacto.
grew up in.
Es muy grandote
And it's
y
scary.
él se acerca mucho y por su contexto
And he's
historia
been
es
reading all these, I
realmente
guess,
da miedo.
marine books that they have out where there's all this banter of people insulting each other. It's a particular, I guess, military sci-fi
Hay una especie de
that's really into the verbality of the really finding good insults.
hay una historia de ciencia ficción.
So he's been reading this stuff, so he's really verbally pretty insulting. He thinks he's being friendly.
Él
Took
debido a
me
lo que
forever to
cosas
figure this out.
pareciendo,
I'm
¿no?
not why.
Y todo, él cree que está siendo realmente amable, agradable, ¿no?
And then he doesn't know why nobody likes him because
Y después
he's really
él
hurt
se
that they don't
pregunta
like
por
him.
qué nadie lo quiere o nadie lo
Well, he hasn't realized that that's fiction. Real people don't actually talk like that.
Él lee una ficción
Even
o
in
ve
the
una
art.
ficción en la que hablan muy raro. Entonces él piensa que la gente
Is
habla
this
así.
beginning to make some sense to you?
¿Hace esto algo de sentido para
Yeah,
vos?
but even with these awarenesses, what if you still are feeling stuck? Like, what if, for example, I can see that the person is not perceiving things as I am?
Are you in a position to be able to do anything about it?
¿Estás en posición de
I
hacer
don't
algo
know.
con esto?
Sometimes I don't know what's right. Like, is it honoring to both of us to communicate, to set boundaries? to
It
walk away?
depends on the individual situation. There is no one way that is appropriate in every situation. And by trying to find a pattern that works here and here, we make ourselves problems.
Yeah,
Because this situation is not that situation.
yeah.
What my son-in-law requires
Yep.
and what the wheelchair pusher requires are completely different. The two situations. And yet how I felt in them was pretty much the same emotion. So there really isn't any overriding guideline. What you have to do is not to be so caught up into the intellectualities of your past and the last guy that bullied you, or what happened in 3rd grade, so that you can actually perceive the current situation as it is, rather than as you hope it will be or fear it might be. Then you can react spontaneously to it appropriately, just as it is rather than as it was. Does this answer your question?
¿Responde esto tu pregunta?
So there's no one way. And even you take the basic Buddhist precepts not to kill.
Incluso si tomas el precepto budista
If your baby was sick, would you give it an antibiotic?
si tu bebé estuviera enfermo, ¿le darías
You're killing.
un antibiótico? Estás matando.
There is no
No
rule
hay regla
that is accurate in
precisa
every
en todas
single
las casos y
case.
situaciones.
And when we go by rules rather than the ability to relax our past enough to see our present as it is, which can be done by this method of resting
Que
in
por ejemplo se
Tawa,
puede hacer con este
only
método
one
de
I found that works.
estar en el agua. Para eso sirven las
We
palabras.
continuously misreact to situations by
Reaccionamos
mixing
mal a
them
las situaciones,
in our perception with other
mezclando
situations that they
la
aren't.
situación con otras situaciones pasadas.
Have I answered your question? That's the best I can give you.
Yes, thank you.
Sí, gracias.
So how do you get to the
¿Cómo
clarity
llegamos a la claridad?
where you're not messing up your reactions by reacting to your 3rd grade bully when it's the current bully, and what the 3rd grade bully needed as a kid is not what your boss
Y
needs.
lo que ese chico necesitaba como respuesta cuando eras un chico no es lo que tu jefe necesita.
You gotta get the crap out of your
Hay
channels.
que sacar la basura de los canales,
Sitting
sentados,
with your channels in
con los
alignment
canales alineados,
and opening the attention of your
la atención de
awareness
tu presencia
into the vastness of the
en la
totality
vastedad
of
de la
mind.
totalidad de la
If you can do that, is the very fastest
Este
way.
es el modo más rápido y directo.
All the other ways are for when you can't
Son
do
para
that,
cuando no podés,
because you're too damn jangled.
estás demasiado enredado.
Then blow out your channels a few times and try again.
Entonces sopla tus canales unas veces y probá.
Then run some Vajrasattva and try again. There's a multitude of methods for when you can't do this. When you can, it's the very
Cuando
fastest.
podés, es el trecho.
It cuts through the crap.
Corta,
Trecha
atraviesa toda la
is
basura.
a word that means cutting
Trecho es
through.
una palabra que significa
What does it
cortar a
cut
través.
through? All your
¿Qué es lo que
crap.
corta toda tu basura? Trecho,
T-R-E-K-C-H-U.
T-R-E-S-K-O.
I'm guessing the spelling because Tibetan is written with different
Estoy
letters.
tratando de adivinar la
So,
pronunciación, la del modo de letrearlo, porque el tibetano se escribe con otras letras.
but just sitting in the morning
Pero sentado en la mañana,
in your
en
session,
tu sesión,
which is extremely
es
important,
extremadamente
but not
importante,
enough by
pero
itself.
no suficiente por sí mismo. No es
Because
suficiente.
then it's done, it's over, and you're right back to your old
Porque una
patterns.
vez que termina,
And every
volvemos
time you perform according to your old
Y cada vez
pattern,
que
you
actuamos
entrench it deeper.
con nuestros patrones habituales, los
Just like
hacemos más
every time you
profundos.
think
Del mismo
something,
modo que cada vez que
you create
pensás
a
algo,
easier opportunity for jump the
creando
neurons,
una oportunidad
which is
más
the physical
fácil
aspect of
de conectar
thinking.
las neuronas.
You make a groove.
Haces como surcos, conexiones, enlaces hacia la base física del pensamiento. Entre
So,
las neuronas.
just snapping back to your old patterns and digging them deeper
Así
after
que
you spend
volver,
half an
después de
hour
pasar media hora
letting them sort of
y
dissipate.
dejarlas que se disipen,
That
si
doesn't work
volvemos
so well.
y hacemos lo mismo, no funciona tan
The
bien.
key to
La
God
clave de GOM
is
práctica es
at all
en
times,
cada momento,
on all
en todas las
occasions,
ocasiones,
whatever you're doing,
cualquiera sea lo que estemos haciendo,
Notice the already recognized
el
tawa.
Tawa ya reconocido, el que ya hemos reconocido.
So you're out and
Así que estás
about,
por
you're having a
ahí,
beer, you're
tomando una
talking to a
cerveza,
friend, and then you
hablando
check and see if
y
your
en ese
mind is
momento
still there, the big
chequea a
one.
ver si tu mente sigue ahí,
Like hundreds of times a day,
cientos de veces por día,
continuously,
continuamente,
always.
siempre.
That's the key to get this
el
to
modo
actually work.
de hacer que esto
And it's
funcione.
not trying to
No
hold
es
on to a meditation
intentando
and stay in meditation.
una
You can't hold a
meditación,
conversation or check a
mantenerte
restaurant bill while you're doing that, figure out the tip, do math.
hacer nada si estás aferrado.
It's not avoiding
No es
thinking.
evitar pensar,
It's becoming so
estar
sure
tan seguro
that natural mind, this infinite
que
open
la mente
awareness,
natural
this
es
vastness
infinita, esta vastedad
doesn't come and
no
go.
viene y va.
And how do you
¿Y
get
cómo
sure
te
it doesn't
aseguras
come and
que no
go?
viene y va?
You check it in all sorts of
Y lo
situations and
chequeas
see if it's still
en todas
there.
las situaciones para ver si sigue allí, si está ahí, esa mente natural, esa espaciosidad.
Stand up. Take a little
Párense,
break. Walk around.
tomemos un descanso, caminen
A couple of
un par de
minutes.
minutos, caminen.
No, I'm good, thank you.
So Tawa is what Namkyang Nobu Rinpoche calls instant presence.
I don't know what.
Got the cushions?
So as you all were
Mientras
walking
ustedes estaban
around,
caminando,
how many of you were thinking about the law
¿cuántos de
of
ustedes
gravity?
estaban pensando en la ley de gravedad?
How
¿Cuántos de
many of
ustedes
you
estaban,
were
sin
nonetheless depending
dependiendo
on gravity
de la
and
gravedad,
aware of gravity as you took steps and
mientras
moved?
daban pasos y se movían?
How many
¿Cuántos
of
de
you
ustedes
were
estaban
worried about accidentally drifting up and
preocupados
bumping your head
por
on the
salir
fan?
volando y darse la cabeza contra el techo?
So you are continuously aware of gravity without thinking about it.
Conscientes de la gravedad sin pensar en ella.
How'd you get that way?
¿Cómo lograron esto?
You sat in your high chair
Se paraban
and you picked up your spoon,
su
your teddy bear, your
sillita,
keys,
agarraban su
and you
juguete
dropped them
y lo
out
soltaban.
again and
Una y
again and
otra
again
y otra y otra vez.
until you got sure. It's a stage kids go
Se
through,
aseguraban, como todos los niños lo hacen,
learning where gravity works and where it
donde funciona
doesn't,
la gravedad y donde
because they're not born with
los
that
niños no
assumption.
nacen con esa
They're
suposición.
coming out of the amniotic
Salen del
fluid.
líquido amniótico,
They're learning
aprenden
Like by now, you're sure of it.
Ahora, por ejemplo, están seguros.
You gotta get tawa like that.
Tienen que asegurarse del tawa de este modo.
And you use the exact same
Y usan
method.
exactamente el mismo método.
Check it out.
Chequenlo,
See if
vean
it's
que
still
está allí,
there.
si sigue aquí.
Again and
Una
again.
y otra vez.
At all times and on all
En todas las
occasions.
ocasiones, en todas las oportunidades y momentos.
Get sure.
Asegúrense.
Pretty simple, huh?
Bastante simple, ¿eh? ¿O no?
There are two components to
Hay dos
gum.
componentes o aspectos de goma.
On the cushion and
En
off the
el
cushion.
sobre el cojín y fuera del cojín.
They are both absolutely
Ambos son
necessary.
absolutamente necesarios.
Gum is not the
No
only
es
way to
el
freedom
único
from your
modo
hang-ups,
de
your
liberarte
traumas,
de tus
your
dramas,
PTSDs,
estrés
your
postraumáticos,
conditionings,
de
your
tus
hopes, your fears, your
esperanzas,
neuroses.
miedos y neurosis.
It is simply,
Es simplemente,
to my knowledge, the
en
fastest.
mi conocimiento, el más
A
fácil.
lot of methods take a lot of,
Otros
take like,
métodos toman
a long rim
mucho
is said to take 400
tiempo. El rim
lifetimes.
se dice que toma 400.000 vidas.
Gets you there, it's pretty safe and
Te lleva
sure,
ahí, es muy seguro,
but it's
pero
not
no es
fast.
rápido. El
Tantra
tantra
is said
se
to
dice que te
take
toma
only one
solo una
lifetime.
vida. El
Trecho
trecho
is
es
instantaneously.
instantáneo.
When you actually see it as it
Cuando lo
really
ves realmente
is,
lo que es,
there's nothing to
no hay
come,
nada
nothing to
que
go,
venga, nada que vaya.
nothing to
Nada
acquire,
que
and nothing to
adquirir,
wear
nada que
off.
se pierda o se vaya. ¿Sí?
That's fast.
Esto es rápido.
The potential is there in
El
each
potencial
moment.
está ahí en cada momento.
The potential is
potencial
actualized in
Actualizado
each
en cada
moment.
momento.
That which always
Eso, aquello
was
que
and will
siempre
be
estuvo
is.
allí y es.
Without any separation between here and
Ninguna
now
separación entre
and there and
aquí,
then.
ahora y allí y entonces.
But to
Pero
experience
experimentar
this certainty
la
and then
certeza
transcend
y
the
trascender
experience,
la
because experiences
las
come and
experiencias
go.
van y vienen.
It is
Para eso
necessary
es
to both
necesario
spend time on the
Pasar
cushion
tiempo sobre el
with your
almohadón,
channels
con
in
tus
alignment
canales
and your
alineados
eyeballs
y tus ojos
unfocused.
desenfocados.
But you know, if you try to
Pero
walk through life
si
without your glasses
intentas
on, your
caminar
eyes
toda tu
unfocused, you're going to
vida
bump
sin
into
anteojos
things.
y con los ojos desenfocados te vas a chocar.
So, you have
Así
to
que
find
tenés que
another
encontrar
way
otro modo
to allow that
permitir
expansive
esa conciencia
awareness
expansiva
to pervade daily
la vida
life.
diaria.
And the
Mucho
method
diaria.
to
Y el
cause it to
método
do
para
so
que producir que esto ocurra
is continuous,
continua
repeated,
y
quick
repetida,
glances
miradas
without
continuas,
grabbing.
repetidas, sin
Don't
aferrar.
grab
No
tawa.
aferres el tawa.
It doesn't have a
No tiene una
handle.
manija que puedas agarrar. No hay nada que agarrar.
It is as substantial as the
Es tan
sky,
sustancial y material como el
which you
cielo.
also cannot
Que
get a
no
grip
puedes
on.
agarrar. El cielo no lo puedes agarrar.
So trying to grab it
Intentar
or
aferrarlo
maintain
o
it is
tenerlo
futile.
es inútil.
Let your tawa be fresh
Tu
in each
tawa, permite que
moment.
tu tawa sea fresco
It
en cada
cans
momento.
about as well as spinach. Have you ever tasted canned spinach?
Es como querer comer, si no, espinaca enlatada.
Yeah.
¿Alguna vez han intentado comer espinaca enlatada?
Don't try to can it. Don't
No
try to
trates de
keep it.
enlatarlo,
Don't
no trates de
try to
enlatarlo.
return
No
to
trates de
something you
volver
saw
a algo que
yesterday.
viste ayer. No intentes volver a lo que viste o reconociste ayer.
Relax.
Relájate.
For a moment, relax the lens
Por
of
un
your
momento,
eyes so that the
relaja
focus
los
is not
ojos
point.
para que no se enfoquen.
Allow your attention to
Permitile
relax
tu atención se
simultaneously.
relaje simultáneamente.
So that
para que
instead
en
of
cambio
focusing on what you are
enfocarte en lo
thinking,
que estás
feeling, and
pensando,
perceiving,
sintiendo y percibiendo,
your attention
tu atención se
expands
expanda
into the infinite
en la
vastness of the
vastedad
thinker,
infinita del
feeler,
pensador, el
perceiver,
sentidor, el experienciador,
which
que
in this
en este
language we can
lenguaje
call
podríamos
mind.
llamarlo mente. En este idioma podemos llamarlo, traducirlo como mente, aquel que experimenta.
Big
Gran
mind.
mente, mente amplia, mente
Semni.
ni, completa.
It's always
Siempre
there.
está allí.
For every thought
Por
you've
cada
ever thought
pensamiento,
arises within
cada
it.
pensamiento que has pensado alguna vez surge en él.
It's always there.
Siempre está allí.
For every
Pues cada
perception you've ever
percepción que alguna vez
perceived
has
arises
percibido,
within it.
surge en ello. Justamente.
It's always
Siempre
there.
está allí.
For every
Pues cada
feeling
todo
you've ever
sentimiento
felt
que has
arises
sentido
within it.
surge y surgió allí.
You cannot
No podés
conceive of its
concebir su
vastness
vastedad,
with thought,
con
because
pensamiento.
thoughts are in it, they cannot
porque los
encompass it.
pensamientos no lo pueden abarcar.
It is beyond the
Está más
concept
allá,
of center,
trasciende el concepto,
edge,
centro, borde,
here,
aquí, allá,
there,
ahora,
now,
después.
then. They say that the Buddha
Se
gave
dice que el Buda dio
84,000
84.000
teachings
enseñanzas
without
sin
saying a
decir
single true
una sola
word.
palabra verdadera.
And yet
Y sin
every
embargo,
single one of
cada una
them
de
pointed
ellas señalaba
at the
a la
same
misma
not thing.
no cosa.
Now, there are certain problems that can arise
Hay ciertos
in the doing of
problemas
this.
que pueden surgir al hacer esto o al intentar hacer.
When you are checking to see if
Cuando
your
estás
mind is still
chequeando para
there,
ver si tu mente
do
está
not do this
No
while
hagas
driving or
esto
operating heavy
mientras
machinery
conduces o operas
until you are good at
maquinaria
it.
pesada, hasta que seas muy bueno en hacerlo,
Okay?
tengas mucha experiencia y capacidades.
It takes a little effort in the beginning
Toma
and it's
un poco
slightly
de
skewed, and I don't want you bumping into anything with a car,
Y no querés chocar en algo.
or cutting your arm off with a chainsaw
cortarte
because
el
you weren't
brazo
paying
con
attention,
una
because you were trying to see power.
Distraído,
When it's
buscando agua.
easy, then that restriction comes off.
Cuando sea algo realmente fácil para ti,
But when
esta
it's
restricción no
effortful,
puede.
keep that
Pero
restriction.
mientras tengas que hacer esfuerzo,
It's common
mantén
sense, so a Tibetan wouldn't tell you
es sentido
that.
común, por lo que un tibetano no te lo
Because they assume you have common sense, because any Tibetan without common sense didn't
sentido
survive
común,
to grow
porque
up in
todos
that
los
climate.
tibetanos sin sentido común no
We,
pueden
however, live with guardrails. And even idiots seem to manage to survive
en
most of the
nuestra
time.
sociedad, hasta los idiotas
Witness our
logran
politics.
sobrevivir. Y un testigo de esto son la política. La política.
On the cushion, there's another problem.
En el almohadón, cuando estamos sentados, hay
You
otro
get
problema.
certain meditative experiences.
Tienes ciertas
You might get all
meditativas.
blissed out and never want to get up again.
Puedes entrar en un estado de
happens.
trance y no querer salir de ella.
You
Ocurre.
might get amazing experiences of
Puedes
being one with the
tener experiencias
universe.
increíbles de ser uno con el
Absolute
universo,
clarity of
una
all
claridad
perceptions.
absoluta de todas las percepciones.
It's got a beginning, right? It's gonna go away again. It's a come and go, which is simply a
Yes.
translation of the Japanese word for meditative experience.
Es una-
Tibetans call them nyam.
Una experiencia que va y viene, que en tibetano se le llama ñam.
They happen. You might see lights.
Ocurren, podés ver luces,
You might see
podés
demons.
ver demonios,
You might get really, really grouchy. I used to get that.
podés
That's my
ponerte
personality.
muy malhumorado. Yo, esto es algo que pasa mal.
You might just love the entire
Podés
universe and want to go
todo el
barefoot
universo
and hug
y
all the people, which will alarm them, I'm
Poder
afraid.
estar
even if that's not your normal way. So when you're sitting on your cushion and you get these experiences, the most common ones are bliss, clarity. Sometimes you get a thought-free state where you don't know time is passing.
A veces tenés
Like
un
you
estado libre de
transact.
pensamiento en el que no
If you're prone to that one, you should set some kind of timer that'll
el
ding
tiempo está pasando.
so you don't get late for work or something. Because you won't be, if you get into that particular trance state, you won't know until maybe an hour or two later. One guy fell into it for 12 years.
No te vas a dar cuenta, puede pasar una hora. Las historias
Great meditators.
que hay
Didn't do him any good.
12 años.
Came out of it and he was still hungry.
Se sentó a practicar cuando tenía
It was
hambre
right before lunch.
y
when
cuando
the
salió
Yad
12 años
lapsed.
después todavía tenía hambre.
That was Saraha.
Ese era Saraha.
So, if you get stuck
Si
In a
te
state.
atascas en un estado
that has arisen in your
tiene
meditation,
una
even if it's really cool.
razón en tu
I mean, I really
meditación
like
que
the
sea
bliss
muy
ones because I'm
increíble.
old, so there's always some bit of arthritis or something that hurts.
Siempre hay algo de artritis.
And when you're all blissed out, nothing
Cuando
hurts.
estás en éxtasis, en este trance,
So I
nada
get
duele.
really tempted not to pop
Es
it.
algo que me tienta mucho no salir.
What you
de
don't want to do is grab these and try to maintain them.
No,
Clarity,
no tenés que
bliss,
hacer es
love,
querer
wisdom.
aferrarlo. Claridad, amor,
No
sabiduría.
grabbing.
No aferrar.
If you were driving from
Si estuvieras
here
conduciendo desde aquí
to San
hasta
Francisco
San Francisco
and you passed through
y
Nevada,
pasás por
where you
Nevada,
saw a
donde
sign
ves
that said
un cartel
California,
que dice
500 miles, 400
California,
miles.
400 millas.
The sign says
El
California.
cartel dice
You
California.
gonna stop at the sign,
Vas a detenerte en el
hang
cartel,
on to it, maintain your
aferrarte, agarrar el
contact
cartel,
with the sign because it
mantenerte
says
con contacto
California.
con el cartel
This is
porque
an
dice
analogy.
California.
Your nyam is a
Señal
signpost.
es un cartel, una
It
señal.
says you're going the right way,
Dice que
keep
estás
going.
yendo en la dirección
It
correcta.
doesn't say stop
Continúa.
and grab me and try to keep me at the sign. I should be with you
Detente,
forever.
aférrame, intenta mantenerme allí continuamente.
So you don't want to grab
No
these
quieres
and maintain them because all they're doing is telling you you're going in the right
Todo lo
direction,
que
but you better
dicen
drive on
que
by.
Está yendo en la dirección correcta, pero es mejor que continúe.
If one gets stuck,
Si alguien se atasca,
there
queda
is a
atascado,
method for dispersing it.
hay un método para dispersar, ¿no?
There is a seed syllable.
Hay una sílaba semilla.
What the hell is a seed syllable?
¿Qué
in
diablos
English?
es una sílaba semilla?
Magic word.
Una palabra mágica.
It's the closest I can get.
Es lo más cercano que puedo conseguir.
They're syllables that hold incredible power and magic
Son
in
sílabas
them.
que tienen increíble
Magic
poder.
is
y
a
magia.
technology you're not
La
familiar with
magia
yet.
es simplemente una tecnología.
The
bueno,
technology of psychic work is perhaps new to you.
La tecnología de la
Just because I don't want to explain every detail right now, we don't have the time for it. I'm going to call some things magic. That just means you don't quite yet see how they work.
Esto significa, si
The
la prueba
Tibetans often consider electric switches magic.
los tibetanos consideran que todos
Because they don't know how they work yet.
eléctricos son magia, porque no entienden cómo, no saben cómo funciona.
They don't see a difference between seed
No,
syllables and electric
Es
switches.
una diferencia entre semillas, sílabas semillas y interruptores.
Both work, both are devices.
Ambos funcionan, ambos
But
son
for you, the
dispositivos.
seed syllable is magic
Para
and the
ti,
electric switch is
la
understandable.
sílaba semilla es magia y el interruptor eléctrico es comprensible.
So there is a seed syllable.
Hay una sílaba semilla.
As some of you may be familiar with the
Ustedes pueden
Kabbalah,
estar familiarizados con la
how
Kabbalah.
each letter in the
O cada
Hebrew
letra
alphabet
en el alfabeto
relates
hebreo
to
se
certain
relaciona con ciertos,
forms and concepts,
Formas y
like the
conceptos,
runes of the Druids.
como las runas de los druidas.
It's the only analogy I can give.
Es la única
Each letter in the
analogía
Tibetan
que puedo dar.
alphabet does this too. Has magic meaning so that you can
La-
create a
tiene un
magic word by
significado
bringing together
mágico.
certain letters.
Ya.
So pa, like in Rigpa, see-er, the Tibetan word for awareness,
Pa, como el Big
Pa
Pa,
is
la
the
palabra que
ER.
significa el que ve. Pa
it
es el que hace.
symbolizes method,
Pa significa
the
método,
vitality
la
of
vitalidad de
bodhicitta,
bodhicitta,
the innate open awareness that
conciencia
functions
abierta,
as
la
form,
que
dances
funciona
as form.
como forma y danza como forma.
Cha
Ta
symbolizes the infinite vast openness of
simboliza la
spaciousness beyond
apertura
concept,
infinita de la
wisdom.
espacialidad más allá de los conceptos.
When you bring pa and
Pa
cha
y ta
together to
juntas,
create a
para
seed
crear la
syllable,
sílaba semilla,
it is
se
pronounced
pronuncia
pe. The T
La T
becomes silent by
se
being swallowed, but the
silenciosa
pa
porque se
goes
traga,
pe because
pero
of
la
the
pa
R under the T,
mantiene.
which is also silent, and the T
la
causes
T
the
al final hace,
pa as pe to end
la
suddenly.
T hace que termine repentinamente
Pe.
el sonido. Pe.
So this
Esta
seed
sílaba
syllable,
semilla,
if
si se la
said
dice, si se la suena
suddenly,
repentinamente, de modo
fiercely,
feroz
and strongly, will pop
va a
a meditative experience, a
cualquier
ñam,
experiencia meditativa, un ñam,
burst
hacerla
it.
estallar.
So you say it, you actually have to sneak up on yourself and hit the ñam with it like
Tienes que
lightning while looking
hacerte un
straight
truco a
at
vos
that
mismo, que es
experience.
reventarla,
Because when it
mirando
bursts,
en ese momento directamente a vos, a ti mismo,
Tawa is
porque
right
cuando
behind it.
estalla, Tawa está allí atrás,
Real Tawa.
el Tawa real,
The one we keep trying
aquel
to
que
hit the
tratamos
bullseye on with our attention.
de encontrar, está ahí
You have to
atrás.
say it like this. The P is sudden, it expels the air. This has an effect on your energy
El aire
channels.
tiene un efecto sobre tus canales energéticos.
You can say it
Puedes
softly, but you
decir
have to vocalize.
suavemente, pero
You
hay que
have to hit
vocalizar.
hard. And you can't be
No
thinking,
podés
now I'm going to
estar
say a
pensando,
pet.
o ahora voy a
Pe.
decir
You know, a little wimpy pay like that's not going to do diddly
así
squat.
debilucho no va a funcionar.
Pet. 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 You got a good one. Good. Now, this practice is not to be done in public or in group
práctica no se hace
meditations.
en público o en
If you do it in
meditación.
group meditations, you're just going to sound like microwave
Si lo
popcorn.
hacen en meditación grupales va a sonar como
And in public, you're going to confuse
maíz,
people.
popcorn.
This is when you're sitting
Esto es
on
cuando
your
estás
cushion
sentado
and you
en
get
tu
stuck
almohadón,
in
quedan
a
atascados
bliss,
en un estado
clarity,
de gozo, claridad,
grouch, thought-free
o
state.
estado
Any one of
sin
those.
pensamiento.
Or you might get creative and get another one.
pueden volverse creativos.
The infinite creativity of sentient beings
Todos los seres sintientes
is part of their beauty.
parte de su belleza.
And sometimes it feels like teaching chemistry
A veces
to
se siente
15-year-olds
como enseñar
who
química.
are totally
a
invested in
niños
somehow
pequeños.
getting it to blow up. Or bake green stinky smoke. High school chemistry teachers are brave.
Los
I
maestros
remember
de
we
secundaria
did,
de
she spent
química
most of
son
the class under her
muy-
desk. We were really good at getting things to blow up.
Cuando yo era adolescente éramos muy buenos en hacer
This
detalles.
is abysmally naive, but I thought those feelings that now I have to frighten away were the perks.
Yeah, most people think so, and you don't have to disperse them
La mayoría de la gente piensa que las
if they're moving by.
que hay que
But if they get
dispersarlas.
stuck, they're in your
Pero si
way.
ellos pasan no hay que dispersarlos. Pero si se quedan ahí
So if they
atascados,
come and go, let them come and
ellos
go.
vienen y van,
Relax.
déjalos que vengan.
You
y
can have some enjoyment of them. If you start getting attached to
Pero sin
them,
embargo, si tenés apego a ellos,
grabbing them,
si los aferrás, intentás
keeping them, if you catch
agarrarlos,
yourself doing that,
mantenerlos,
pop them.
en ese momento hay que reventar.
The real thing is even better.
Lo real de lo que se trata es
The
aún
difference
mejor.
between C's candy and a really good artisanal chocolate.
Es la diferencia entre un caramelito barato y un chocolate
The
artesanal.
difference between Budweiser and craft
La
beer.
diferencia entre Budweiser y cerveza artesanal.
What if the tool becomes the prison? Like for me in my practice, like
¿Qué
now,
pasa si se vuelven una presión?
what if I'm like, an experience.
Oh,
I'm gonna
sí,
use
sí,
this
sí.
method.
You'll get
You know?
bored with it and you won't be doing that so much after a while.
Si yo me quedo atascada
Excuse me, what
con
was that?
You would normally be that you might feel like that in the beginning, but after a bit you'll get bored.
Okay, so
pero
let it
It
después
won't be
fit.
brand new and shiny. So you'll play with it for the first few
cualquier
days.
cosa nueva al principio.
And
para
after
crecer
that,
ya.
and you'll do that to become good at it.
Y al principio lo usas mucho
However,
para
it's
crecer.
not just to make the noise and
Pero
pop the
no
nyam.
es solo hacer
If
el
you're
sonido,
not
no
looking
estás
directly
mirando
at the experience with your attention while you do this,
mientras lo haces,
all you're going
todo
to
lo que
do
vas
is
a
startle
lograr
your
es
fleas.
reventar,
As my teacher used to
sorprender
say.
pulgas, como decía mi maestro.
Which is, I mean, why
Es
bother?
decir, no tiene sentido.
It's behind the nyam when you pop it.
Cuando lo revientas,
Hetewa. It's a Tibetan exclamation for. There's not a damn thing I can
no
say
hay nada
about
que
it.
pueda decir sobre ello.
Infinite, open. All of these
Todas
words
estas
aren't
palabras no
exact.
son exactas.
That's
Eso es mejor.
better than the nyam. That's better than the new toy I gave you of the seed syllable. Go play with it for a few days. You'll get good at it, and then
que les di de los
you'll know
chicos,
how to use it, and then you'll go back to normal of using it if you need
Te
it.
vas a acostumbrar y lo puedes usar
Okay.
cuando lo necesites.
Of course, you're going to be doing it with enthusiasm.
Por supuesto que lo puedes
It's a
usar
new
con
toy.
entusiasmo. Es un juguete nuevo.
Yes.
I just drove from
Oh my.
and I wonder if I went into Tala because I drove a truck with a hydraulic lumbar support and height, and so everything was relaxed. States looking at the road for hours and hours.
Nyams.
La pregunta es que él acaba de
States.
conducir un montón de horas en un camión en el que continuamente se
Not the
mantenía.
safest way to drive because it may diminish your reflexes.
Esto es un,
Hit it with pet. It
Esto es
wouldn't
el tawa.
really be tawa.
y la respuesta
It
es
would be
que
more
más
of
bien
what we call
puede ser un estado
shine.
calmo, lo que llamamos shineo. Hay que tener
Trance
cuidado porque
states that
puede
are
ser-
limited,
Los estados de trance y todos los estados son limitados.
like bliss but not
Es-
pain,
Por ejemplo, el gozo.
no thought but
El
not
gozo siempre
thinking,
es, queremos decir gozo, pero no dolor.
clarity but
Ausencia de
not
pensamiento, pero
confusion.
no pensamiento. Claridad, pero no confusión. Siempre lo vemos de modo global.
These are
Estos son
limited,
conceptos limitados.
therefore they are
son
nyams.
Si son excluyentes de lo otro, de otra cosa.
The reality of tawa is
no
not
es
limited.
Está más allá de toda limitación.
And you know the story of the Buddha where Mara's sons and Mara's daughters dance around, trying to keep him from continuing his practice. Mara's daughters are these states you can
Son estos
reach in
estados que puedes
samadhi.
alcanzar en samadhi. Los hijos de
Mara's
Mara
sons are
son
everything you've
todo
ever been
aquello que has
afraid of.
tenido, temores.
So this is the carrot or the bride,
Estos son
all
los
these
personajes
blisses
que
and
tratan de
loves and
darte, sobornarte,
states
de
to get
hacer
you
que
to
salgas
leave the
del
path.
camino.
Because
Pues
they come
vienen
and
y van.
go. If you depend on them, grasp them, strive to maintain them, that's all well and good until they're done,
Empiezas a
and then,
observar y después
there
se van,
they
y
go.
ahí se van, se fueron.
like
Por ejemplo,
when
cuando
you're
estás
dying, and you really need
y
some
necesitas en la
clarity.
realidad cuando estás muriendo.
You don't want to be depending on something that is a creation
¿Cómo
of
vas a
your
depender de algo
personality,
que es una creación de
because
tu
you're not
personalidad?
taking that with
¿Cómo te
you,
vas a llevar eso?
your personality, not
En tu
across the
personalidad,
bardo, the
nada
gap.
en este estado de bardo, estado intermedio. No puedes llevarte nada.
Other questions?
Hay otras preguntas.
Did you have something? Yeah.
Sort of. You would use PET when practicing since last time. I found myself using PET to break up a rumination.
You could.
You can?
Yep.
Okay.
If it's stuck, but don't forget to be
Si hay algo
looking.
atascado, no te olvides. En el estado de rumiación, puedes aplicarlo, pero está atento de estar ahí mirando dónde.
So that you can see the
con este método. Lo que
awareness where the rumination be
es
happening.
eso. Y estate atenta y presente en eso. Lo podés usar.
I used to get into these. It. And then it will
Si no
work.
te gusta, probablemente
If
no
you
lo
don't
vas a
like it,
hacer.
you probably won't actually do it. You'll just think about maybe I should do it
Si
and
estás
then feel
pensando,
bad you
debería hacer
didn't.
esto y no lo hago,
That's
haz
really
otra
quite
cosa.
pointless.
Hay
Please do
miles de
something
cosas
else.
que conducen a meditación.
There are thousands of practices that lead to enlightenment.
Y también
Some faster, some
hay una
slower.
cantidad de ellas que conducen a nada.
And there's also a number of ones that lead to dead ends.
Hay algunas de ellas que te van a llevar a, por ejemplo, que renazcas en el reino de los dioses.
And get yourself born in the God realm, which is really quite pointless. Been there. You did that. Lots of
Aquellos
times.
que desean hacer esta
So
práctica, o están
those who
considerando
wish to do this practice or are considering to do this practice, do you understand how to do this practice?
Yo entiendo el aspecto del alma.
I understand the cushion aspect and finding the vastness and the clarity of the mind and resting there. And I guess the gum off the cushion and how I could inquire in everyday life is where, let's say I'm at lunch.
Your mind's
with
still
a
there
friend.
right now?
Yes.
¿Estás segura de
You
que
just
está ahí?
did.
Sí.
Now just
Ahora
keep doing that every
piensa.
time you remember.
Simplemente hacelo. Una y otra vez.
Simple, isn't it?
Eso es todo.
Thank you.
Chequea y seguí chequeando.
That's all. Just
No
keep
trates
checking.
de mantener un estado.
Check in with it. Don't try to maintain a state. On the cushion, you try to relax into it again and again over time.
Cuando estás fuera de la práctica, es más bien
When you're out
emocionalmente no
and
te
about, it's more a quick glance and release. Don't intentionally look away from
Estás siempre allí como la gravedad. Necesitas asegurarte,
Always
tal
there
como
like
estás
gravity.
segura de la gravedad, tan así tiene que estar seguro.
You get sure as you are of
Esto no
gravity, so that it's there.
significa que dejes de
Or whether you have to
pensar,
think about
sentir
it
y
or not.
percibir.
That
Esto-
doesn't mean you stop thinking, feeling, and perceiving.
Ellos no están alrededor.
That just means that you're not all tangled up in them.
Se hacen,
They're
una y
free.
otra vez en la
They
vida.
move freely,
Hay más preguntas.
arising and vanishing again and again in natural mind.
Apply this to intense situations that we go through in life, like we
Oh, it's
Es maravilloso cuando
Wonderful.
está allí.
when you're in an intense situation. Check and see if the vastness is still there.
Si ustedes quieren que yo lo haga el año que
Want me to
viene,
do that next year, request it. But in to have this down pat, working
para
with
que esto
thought,
funcione, tienen que tener esto funcionando ya con el pensamiento, porque las
because you see your emotions
emociones
aimed by your thoughts.
a veces van a pensar
Sometimes you will think off than in the sick, hurting body that they were in.
que donde fueron, seguramente hablando de personas que murieron, van a estar mejor que en el cuerpo herido en el que estaban lastimados.
Just before the end, and feel relief for them. To let go of, and so you
Sí
will
van a
feel
sentir, pero no se va a
that it
volver
will not become grief,
dolor,
sadness,
tristeza
or
o ansiedad,
anxiety. It will become pure energy of
sino
feeling,
que energía pura que surge en la
arising in
mente y
mind
que
and
se
dissolving
hace,
in
pura intensidad.
a pure intensity.
Eso no tiene sentido aún.
That isn't making sense
Si
yet.
quieren esa
If you want that
enseñanza,
teaching next year, you gotta work with thoughts for a year,
pensamiento,
or you'll never be
porque si
able
no,
to
no van a
follow the
poder
instructions of it. It's an advanced teaching. And
No,
I'm not sure
no
here is
sé
the best
si aquí
place,
es el
maybe
mejor
of an
lugar
evening here or something,
tras
only
solamente tener
because
una
if
tarde
there's a
de
lot of new
enseñanza, no nos va a
people,
funcionar.
we won't get there. And there always are. And I don't
Hay
want to
distintos
deny them, so
niveles,
we'd have to figure
tenemos que
that out.
encontrarnos.
But working with emotions is usually done as a retreat. For a year or so, at least, maybe longer, and are quite good. And then off the cushion.
Sobre el
On the
algodón,
cushion,
agua.
tawa.
Fuera de
And off
está
the
agua
cushion.
todavía ahí.
Is tawa still there? Did it go away? Or were
Sigue
you
ahí o
simply
simplemente estaba
distracted and not
distraído.
looking?
Mira. Al
In the
principio
beginning,
se verá como si estuviera mirando aquí.
it will
mirando
feel like looking here and then looking here.
vida diaria, tawa,
Daily
vida
life,
diaria,
tawa. Daily life,
en el punto
tawa.
medio.
In the middle,
Pongan sus dedos delante de sus
put your
ojos,
fingers in front of
ábranlos,
your face, spread,
y
and
miren
look at my
cara
face
a
between
través
your
de
fingers.
los ojos. Pueden ver claramente mi cara.
Can you see me clearly when
Ahora
you look
miren sus
between your
huellas
fingers at me?
digitales, miren sus dedos.
Now look at your fingerprints,
Pueden verme
the lines on your
claramente.
fingers.
Están mirando
Can you see me
en
clearly while you're doing
medio
that?
se va a sentir
In the
una
middle, it
diferencia
will
de
feel
profundidad,
like that,
poco de
like just a
profundidad.
depth of
Al
focus.
final no habrá separación.
In the end,
No habrá
you will
diferencia.
find no separation, no difference.
Pero la clave es la práctica.
But the key is practice.
O pasando al Dzogchen
Or moving on
avanzado
to
esta tarde.
advanced Dzogchen
Pasaremos
this
esta tarde.
afternoon. Ye wandi nyur duda che che ala go
Que todos los seres sean
May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. I'll catch y'all later.